Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Wild and Unbelievable News, where we cover some of the craziest news stories from around the world. And I'm your host, Tune Dollars. Up at number 6, the source is www.cbsphilly.com. Suspect in custody after stealing ambulance, leading police on lengthy chase through northeast Philadelphia. Now, this one hits home. Listen to this, guys. Philadelphia CBS. A suspect in custody after stealing an ambulance and leading police on a lengthy chase through northeast Philadelphia on Friday night. Chopper 3 was over the police pursuit throughout the city and when the suspect was captured by police. Now, if you guys look at this video, it's going to look like a scene from Grand Theft Auto. Seriously, my man decided to steal not a police car, not a regular civilian vehicle. He jumped in an ambulance and went on what they call a high-speed chase. It was more like a 30-mile-per-hour chase. Yo, he really was out for about an hour, a little over an hour, throughout the streets of Philadelphia. Listen, the pursuit ended after more than an hour on the 2700 block of Tollbut Street in northeast Philadelphia, shortly before 10:40 p.m. Police say the pursuit started when authorities were called to the Roosevelt Inn on the 7600 block of Roosevelt Boulevard around 9:20 p.m. for a reported domestic disturbance. Police says a shirtless man at the scene became combative and stole the ambulance. So what he did was, while they were at the scene questioning him and seeing if everybody was okay and or if they needed medical attention, he low-key just slid off, jumped inside the ambulance, which was already on. The ambulance drivers left it on. He jumped in and he bounced. And from there, that's where the joyride started. If you watch this video, my man literally had like 20 cops behind him. He was hitting cop cars. He to my knowledge, I think he hit a police officer real lightly. He hit a police officer. He hit random pedestrian cars. Like, this is crazy. Police arrived at the scene when the suspect, who police says in his 40s, began driving toward officers. That's when police say an officer fired 4 shots at the charging ambulance, striking the suspect 3 times, twice in the left leg and once in the side. The suspect in the ambulance struck the officer who was on foot and continued driving. My man was shot. I'm not sure if he was shot with like a firearm pistol or if he was tased. I think he was tased. I think that's what they meant by shot. But he was shot and he was still going like the Energizer Bunny. He was not stopping. And the craziest part was that he was shirtless. He was shirtless. He was in boxers. Like, I don't even think he had shoes on. Like, this dude was really going on a high-speed chase half naked, yo. And the craziest thing was he got shot. So you would think that the shots, even if it was a taser, you would think that that would have slowed him down. My man kept going and going and going. Like, he had to be on something. What y'all think? He had to be on something to get, shot and not stop. Up at number 5, the source is www.upi.com. Colorado man claims $25,000 yearly lotto prize 2 days before expiration. March 5th, UPI, a Colorado man turned in a winning lottery ticket with a prize of $25,000 a year for life. How you like them apples, yo? For a life, not one jackpot of $25,000, but $25,000 a year until my man checks out. So he turned in the winning lottery ticket of $25,000 a year for life just 2 days before it was set to expire. The Colorado Lottery posted a photo on Facebook announcing the missing winner had come forward and encouraging players to check their tickets after the winner was mistaken about the extent of his win. Get this, he thought that he won only $5,000 until about a week ago when he realized his ticket was worth $25,000 a year for life, the lottery said. If the winner had not claimed the ticket by its expiration date on March 6th, the money would have been returned to the prize pool. The Lucky for Life game is a national lottery game played by selecting 5 numbers out of 48 and 1 number from 18 for the lucky ball. Yo, guys, my man got lucky because he literally turned it in right before it was about to expire. Could you imagine? I would have been sick to my stomach to know that I literally had an opportunity to win $25,000, not once, but for life, and I missed the opportunity by letting the ticket expire. Let's talk about the for life factor. Like, could you think about the potential possibilities of that? Like, let's say if he's in his 30s or his 40s. My man's set for the next, however, 30, 40, 50 years, however long he takes care of himself and he lives, my man is set. $25,000 a life isn't a lot from a large scale perspective, but it's enough to live sustainable for a year, to pay rent. That can cover his rent every year. and he can have a vehicle, he can have food. You know, he has the opportunity to, if he wanted to be an entrepreneur and grind and, like, you know, make money the hard way while still having that, knowing that steady income. That's tough. Like, that's super duper dope, man. He can invest. Imagine 1 year, like, I'll invest my 25 stacks in a couple buildings. Next year, I invest my 25 stacks in a business. Next year, I invest my 25 stacks in me. Then I go back to the 4th year, then I invest my 25 stacks in business. You know what I mean? Like, you have so many opportunities and potential. And let's say if he still works. Imagine you still working. Imagine if he works and he makes 45, 50 grand a year. You know what I mean? Something light. And then, bam, he get a $25,000 bonus. That's love. Up at number 4, source is www.cbsnews.com. YouTuber faked an exotic vacation in Bali with pictures taken at a nearby IKEA. Yo, she straight up schemed everybody on the World Wide Web. Listen to this. A popular blogger came up with a creative way to deliver a message to her followers. Don't believe everything you see on social media. Natalia Taylor posted a series of photos on her Instagram account where she seems to be enjoying an exotic vacation in Bali. But later she revealed that they weren't all what they seemed. Her first post with a Bali location was captured. The Queen has arrived, and shows Taylor in what seems to be a glamorous setting. Other photos show her lounging in a luxurious bath and preparing to pop a bottle of champagne. Yo, wow. So listen. What happened was, what she did is she went to a local IKEA, and you know how they have those little setups that they be looking professional, like they be looking dope. Like, I know we all did it. You did it and I did it. You remember? We all go to IKEA and we just like stare at like the kitchens or like the little living room sets and everything. Well, the IKEA she was at must have had some whole fancy stuff for her to seem like she was in Bali, but she basically stood in each set and she had somebody take the photos of her. Like, she laid in the bathtub and pretended like she was taking a luxurious bath, and she went and she straight up just faked all those photos. And you know how Instagram allows you to tag the location? She put them in like Bali and other places where she wasn't really at. She shared them and she got mad likes, and people were supporting her, and people was like, yeah, she living her best life, and they sorry, dog. Like, listen to this. In a video she later posted on YouTube, she revealed the Instagram photos were all fictitious. In reality, she was posting in different sections of the nearby IKEA. So many influencers nowadays have actually been caught in the act of pretending to be at a destination when they really weren't. And it's just either Photoshop or it's not even them, she said. The video shows her walking around different IKEA setups and posing for multiple photos as customers continued furniture shopping around her. Could you imagine, like, you just shopping, you over there with your wife and kids and everything, and then you see some girl wrapped up in a towel laying in a tub, and she got a photographer, like, all right, pose, and she over there, like, yo, like, that's, she shot out, like, she's crazy. But I think the moral is powerful. The moral is, don't believe everything you see on the World Wide Web or on social networking. You know, sometimes you can feel like your lifestyle is substandard compared to what some of these people post. You know, they're all around the world. Listen, just be happy, be appreciative of what you got. The universe is good, life is good, and move on. Up at number 3, source is www.sacb.com. North Carolina woman goes to jail for 100th birthday. Yo, she a triple OG. She a gangster. No. Listen to this. For her 100th birthday, Ruth Bryant crossed a significant item off her bucket list. She went to jail. The Person County Sheriff Office helped fulfill Bryant's unusual wish when 2 deputies showed up at her living assisted facility to serve her a warrant charging her with indecent exposure. Yo, she was running around streaking. She was topless. News outlets reported. The 2 deputies handcuffed. Yo, she probably liked that, right? She's like, yeah, handcuff me, young gentleman. The 2 deputies handcuffed Bryant to her walker and placed her in the patrol car. Yo, did they put her walker in the trunk? Giving her the full experience with lights, sirens, flashing, and blaring. Before she got in, the deputies warned her not to put up a fight, and she playfully kicked at them. WRAL reported. "Don't kick me. I've got a bad knee," said one deputy. To which Bryant replied, "I've got 2 bad knees." Yo, that's so crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. That's cool. That's kind of unbelievable. Like, why would you have that on your bucket list? Like, she should be proud. Like, she lived up to be a 100. She lived to be a buck. She lived to be 100, and she ain't go to jail. A lot of people take pride in that, but she's like, no, listen. My life has not been lived yet. I want to go to jail for that. She should have low key went and robbed the bank, and she would probably got away because nobody would have ever thought that it was her. She would have got away. She would have had some bread, and she would have felt like a criminal. A criminal. The Courier Times of Roxborough reported that as Brian tried to get out of the patrol car, she was trying to run. She was trying to scheme. She told the deputies they should go after another criminal. The people who make these low damn seats in all cars, Brian said, you ought to arrest every one of them. Once in jail, Brian was treated like, well, a criminal. She had a mugshot taken, spent a few minutes in a jail cell. A few minutes? Lady, you gotta stay there for 24 hours. And left with an orange shirt with the words Prison County Jail on it. Yo, low key, they better bury her with that t-shirt. I'm in the jailhouse now. I finally got here, she exclaimed. Like, she was excited. Like, I don't know when anybody would be excited about being booked, but that was one of the things that was on her bucket list. And it ends off like before long, Brian was released. She returned to her assisted living center to a party complete with a birthday cake. No word on whether the cake had a file in it. Get it? A file? Like a little shank so she could file out of prison. You know, they be cutting the bars and all of that. Yo. That is crazy. I can't believe that. Like, that's unbelievable. Up at number 2, source is www.nbcnews.com. Body casket recovered after stolen hearse crashes to end Los Angeles chase. Yo, this is wild. This is another episode of Grand Theft Auto. He must have stayed up. The dude in Los Angeles called the dude from Philly and said, yo, what's up, y'all? This week we trying to coordinate some type of Grand Theft Auto chase. You steal an ambulance, I steal a hearse. We both be on the news. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, which a day before had urged whoever stole the black Lincoln Navigator to at least return the casket and the body, said the body was in the vehicle after the chase Thursday morning. That's incredible, because could you imagine being the guy who stole the vehicle, thinking he gonna get like a quick buck, thinking he gonna get some quick money, quick 5,000-10,000, take it to the shipyard so they can ship it off to the other side of the world. You know what I mean? And then he looks in the back and realizes there's a body in a casket. Like, yo, that's crazy. Like, that's incredible. Huge thank you to the Good Samaritan that called law enforcement when they saw the stolen vehicle. The Sheriff's Department tweeted, we also want to send condolences to the family members of the blank person who had to deal with this tragedy. Yeah, that's messed up. Could you imagine, like, you recently just went through a loss in the family and you guys are preparing for the funeral or whatnot, and then you get a phone call from the funeral home, or even worse, you find out that your relative is on the news in the back of a vehicle in a high-speed chase. Like, that's one way to go out, yo. Like, that's sad. Like, I would be disturbed. I would be angry. If I was the family, I would be upset, you know what I mean, with the person who did it. It's like, can you let my person rest in peace? But on the other note, it's like, it's unbelievable. Like, I can't. When I read some of these stories, like, I'm shocked. I'm like, what goes on through these people's minds? Up at number 1, the source is www.blavity.com. 2 friends of 17 years who've always been told they look alike just found out they're sisters. Hey, yo, this is a wild story, and the craziest part is it hits home. It's from Philly. This is a Philadelphia story. 2 best friends from Philadelphia realize they have the same father. Like, how do you go so many years without knowing that? Like, listen to this. Listen to the plot twist. In a heartwarming story of chance and fate, 2 women from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania learned that they were actually sisters after nearly 17 years of friendship. Ashley Thomas, 31, and Toya Wimberly, 29, learned that they actually have the same father after more than a decade of being friends and lifelong comments from others on how similar they look. According to the local news outlet, their friendship goes back to the 6th grade when both women attended Sulzberger Middle School in Philadelphia. This is ridiculous, y'all. They were friends since 6th grade. Middle school, elementary, middle, and high school, and they didn't realize until the end of high school. They were in their adult years. No, she's 31 and one's 29. So they recently just found out. So they went and conducted whole lives. They had a whole lives, and they didn't know, like, low key, like, they were sisters. And you heard that they kept getting compliments. Like, people in school would be like, yo, y'all look alike. Y'all look alike. But you know how sometimes, like, you look like a person and you don't think nothing of it. Like, yeah, you know, like we all got our twins out there somewhere, but we don't be related. These 2 was actually related. Many people told the 2 that they look alike while they were both living on the west side of Philadelphia, but they never thought anything of it, chalking it up to coincidence. Both grew up having huge gaps in their front teeth. And hey, yo, could I be related to them? Both grew up having huge gaps in their front teeth and high cheekbones. Funnily enough, is funnily a word? Funnily. Yo, I gotta use that. Funnily enough, they both are currently wearing braces to fix the form. Yo, they trying to fix their gap, and it's crazy because did they do that before they knew they were sisters or after? I think it was before. That's the funny part to it. But the craziest thing was that they found out that the one girl's pop was her pop too, and they mentioned something to it. Like people throughout the years was telling, them like, yo, like, you kind of look alike or whatever. And then one day, the pop visited a party or an event, and then long story short, one thing led to another where they said the pop knew her mom from back in the day, blah blah, and then the pop, I guess it was a one-night stand type of thing, and she never told the father, and she just continued to have the baby. That girl was raised with a stepfather who she considers her real father. It wasn't her real father. She didn't know. She believed that it was her real father. And in all actuality, her friend from school, that was her pop. Her pop was her real pop. Like, that's wild. Like, the pop must have been a playboy. Like, the pop was macking. Like, but it's crazy. Could you imagine like the feeling of knowing you had a long lost daughter out there? And not only that, but could you imagine like you find out your best friend for the last 17 years was really your sister? Like, I'm sure they was filled with joy. Hopefully they didn't beef throughout the years, because you know how sometimes friends beef and low-key talk about each other. They be like, man, that's why she be, you know what I mean? And coming at her in real life, she was coming at her sister. Like, that is crazy. Now that right there, that's something that fate brought them together, and who knows if they would have never met in 6th grade and never been friends and, went to separate schools and never met and never crossed paths, would they have ever found out that they were related? So it goes to show you the universe works in mysterious ways, and the universe still brought those two together. So that's amazing, guys. All right, so that concludes today's episode of Wild and Unbelievable News. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, comment below, let me know your thoughts. Turn on your notification bell so you can get notified for the next episode of Wild and Unbelievable News. And if there's a news article you guys want me to cover, copy and paste it below. Meanwhile, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.